In the Chinese folktale, there is a story of the old farmer's luck. It goes like this. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between mountains and rice fields, there lived an old farmer. He had only one horse, a single son, and a small piece of land. He was poor by all worldly standards, but he also was calm, wise, and deeply present in his life. One day, his horse ran away. The neighbors came to sympathize. "What terrible luck," they said. The old farmer simply replied, "Maybe, maybe not." A week later, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 wild stallions. "What amazing fortune," the neighbors exclaimed. "Maybe, maybe not," the old man replied. Soon after, while trying to tame one of the wild horses, the farmer's son was thrown off and broke his leg. He could no longer help with the farm. The neighbors came again, shaking their heads. "So unlucky, your only son injured." "Maybe, maybe not," the old man said again. A month later, war broke out in the region. The emperor's men came to the village, conscripting every able-bodied young man. Most of them died in battle. The farmer's son with his broken leg was left behind. The neighbors wept for their sons and told the old man, "You were right. You are lucky after all." The farmer said quietly, "Nothing about this life is fair, but it tells the truth if you're strong enough to listen. That's the honesty of life. It doesn't hand you justice, but if you sit with it long enough, it shows you something real. Life is not fair means that suffering is not evenly distributed. Good people die young. Evil people prosper. Hard work doesn't always lead to success. Love isn't always returned. Children starve while billionaires live large. There's no cosmic scale weighing who deserves what. But life is honest. Means that life never pretends otherwise. It shows you what it is, not what it should be. The laws of nature don't lie. Consequences often follow actions, but not always in moral terms. Life teaches through experience, not ideology. It won't sugarcoat. It won't flatter. It will show you your limits, your wounds, your truth, whether you're ready or not. Take, for example, a young woman who trained every day to become a professional dancer. She's disciplined, talented, and kind-hearted. But one day, she's hit by a drunk driver. Her spine is shattered. Her dream dies in an instant. It's not fair. She did everything right, and yet, life doesn't lie. It gives her the truth. This is your body now. No apologies, no explanations. Just reality. She spirals, grieves, rages, but eventually she faces it. She begins to write poetry from her wheelchair. Raw, honest, beautiful. Her words connect with thousands of others who've also been crushed by life's unfair blows. She becomes a voice not the one she planned, but one shaped by truth. Life might break your heart, but it won't lie to you. And from that honesty, you can build something real. You will. Stop expecting life to play by your rules. Accept what is, not just what you wish. And from there decide who you want to be anyway. Friedrich. Nietzsche, the German philosopher, endured lifelong physical pain, including migraines, partial blindness, and debilitating illness. Emotional suffering, including isolation, failed relationships, and disillusionment with religion and academia. Mental decline, ending his life in madness and obscurity. Through all this, Nietzsche refused to be broken. Instead of turning away from suffering, he wrestled with it and transformed it into insight. His suffering didn't destroy him, it deepened his thinking. He saw pain, not as something to avoid, but as the fire in which character, meaning, and greatness are forged. Hence, he was quoted saying, "To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." End quote. Nietzsche's quote is a piercing reflection on the human condition. It distills a worldview that rejects illusions and faces life with raw honesty. When Nietzsche says, "To live is to suffer," he isn't being cynical for the sake of it. He's stating a truth. That existence comes with hardship, pain, disappointment, loss, and confusion. It is part of the fabric of being alive. Suffering isn't an exception to life. It's a constant. But the second half, to survive is to find some meaning in the suffering, is where Nietzsche's philosophy becomes both challenging and empowering. He believed that while we can't always control our pain, we can control how we respond to it. Survival, in his view, isn't just about enduring hardship. It's about transforming it, about creating meaning where there was none. That's where real strength is forged. To Nietzsche, fairness was a human construct, not a guarantee from the universe. Life doesn't hand out rewards according to merit. The innocents suffer. The strong fall. The wicked thrive. That's not fair, but it's real. And in that reality, there's honest clarity. He believed it's in facing that honesty, without illusions, that a person becomes strong. That's where growth happens. Life won't shield you from suffering, but it will show you who you are when everything falls apart. Nietzsche wasn't promoting despair. He was offering a path beyond it. He didn't expect life to coddle us. He didn't think suffering had a built-in moral lesson. But he did believe we could will meaning into that suffering, and that this act of creation is what makes life bearable and even beautiful. In essence, life is not fair, but it is honest. And in that honesty, you can build meaning that no one can take from you. One man that will meaning into that suffering was Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist, psychiatrist, Holocaust survivor. He is best known for his book, Man's Search for Meaning, which chronicles his experiences in Nazi concentration camps and explores how meaning can sustain us, even in the face of unimaginable suffering. During World War II, Frankl and his family were deported to concentration camps. He endured Auschwitz, Dachau, and other camps, while nearly his entire family, including his wife, mother, and brother, perished. Despite this, he used his training and inner strength to support fellow prisoners psychologically and spiritually. After the war, Frankl rebuilt his life and wrote Man's Search for Meaning, which became one of the most influential books of the 20th century, selling millions of copies worldwide. However, in the camps, he was stripped of everything: freedom, dignity, family, even his name, replaced by a number. He couldn't change that situation, but he could choose how to face it. He saw people crushed by despair and others who found strength by holding on to a sense of purpose. A loved one they wanted to reunite with, a task they still had to complete, or simply the will to remain human in the face of cruelty. So he got inspired to say, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Close quote. He was trying to say that when all else is taken from us, the one freedom that remains is the freedom to choose our response. And that, in itself, is an act of survival and of meaning. In essence, his life declared, "You may not control your fate, but you can shape who you become in the face of it." Frankl didn't believe life was fair. He lived through one of the most grotesque injustices of the 20th century. But like Nietzsche, he saw that suffering reveals something raw and true about existence. Fairness might not be guaranteed, but in suffering, there is honesty. It strips away illusions. And in that clarity, we're faced with a question. Will I give up, or will I grow? Frankl's words reflect a brutal but liberating truth. There are moments in life when we are powerless to change what's happening around us, but we are never powerless over how we respond. When everything outside of us is stripped away, freedom, comfort, dignity, the last and deepest freedom remains. The freedom to choose our attitude. One man who embodied such attitude was Haruki Murakami, a world-renowned Japanese novelist. In his memoir titled, "What I Talk About When I Talk About Running," he said, "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional." Close quote. Pain is inevitable means that life will hurt. That's a certainty, whether it's loss, heartbreak, illness, betrayal, failure, or simply the passage of time. Pain is part of the human experience. It comes uninvited, without fairness or reason. You can't avoid it. And Murakami doesn't pretend that you can. Suffering is optional, meaning that what you do with that pain, that's different. Suffering, in this sense, is what happens when we cling to the pain, resist it, or let it define us. Murakami suggests that while we can't stop pain from happening, we have some power over how long we carry it and how deeply we let it shape us. Pain isn't handed out fairly. Some people suffer more than others for no reason. Life doesn't ask if you're ready before it hurts you. But life is honest in that it will hurt. That's real. There's no illusion in it. And once we accept that truth, we can stop resisting it and begin responding to it. Murakami isn't denying pain, he's reminding us that we still have a say in how much power it holds over us, that suffering, while human, is also a choice. And in that choice lies quiet strength. He realized that life doesn't give you a choice about pain. It will hurt you. But how much you suffer from that pain depends on how you frame it, respond to it, and let it shape you. Murakami's words weren't born from dramatic tragedy like Viktor Frankl's, or from philosophical confrontation like Nietzsche's. They were born from quiet, steady living, from observing how the mind and body meet resistance, and how that resistance can either break us or build us. He reminds us, you don't have to be heroic. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to keep going and realize that pain is part of the road, not the end of it. Friends, until we cross paths again,